Hi and welcome to my world. This is day 2 in making my Nutcracker battle. I'm going to title this Battle of the Nutcrackers. As you can see from my original video, my first attempt at it was rather terrible. So let's start with the first part of making this into a better production. And as with all productions, it starts with a little bit of planning. Now, I am just as guilty as everybody else. I get an idea for an animation, and the first thing I do is I run in and I just start modeling stuff without a whole lot of thought and planning. Well, that's the wrong way to go about doing it. And what I would invite people to do is to go to this website here, Celtx, CELTX.com, and it's actually free, or you can do a paid subscription thing, but they have some great resources in here for building your animation. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. I'm already a member, and there we go. And right here I have Battle of the Nutcrackers, and I've made it for film and TV. I open this up, and the very first thing I did was I wrote a script. Now you may say, why do that? Well, writing a script gives you a firm idea of just exactly what you're going to do and how it's going to turn out. And it really doesn't take that long. It's not a very long script at all. Start out with my fade in and text box, Battle of the Nutcrackers. And then my first scene is exterior street south, noon, my establishing. It's an old dusty western town with an empty street. Single tumbleweed rolls down the street. And then my next scene would be porch outside of the town jail, sheriff sitting in an old chair, keeping watch on the town. And then later on he spots something. He leans forward and looks down the street. The next scene would be an extreme end of the street. The villain rounds the corner riding on his horse, and it goes on and on and on until we finally get down to the very end, and we have the ending. The next thing I do is, now that I've got my script, I can go to my shot list, and once I go down to here, I can go to my shot list here. Whoops. And I can start designing shot lists. Once I get that done, I can actually do what's called a breakdown. And the breakdown is kind of cool because it tells me exactly what I need for this shot. What I need is a text box. My next breakdown, I come in here and I'm going to need some animals, well, they're CGI animals. I'm going to need, for my buildings, I went through and I asked myself, what am I going to need for a buildings on this street? And I figured I'm going to need an assay office, a bank, a barber shop, a bench, a blacksmith, a brothel, maybe a courthouse, some debris for the ground, a diner, doctor's office, on and on and on and on and on. I just went down and I thought, well, okay, a few town businesses, a town hall, these different things. And of course, I'm going to need the sheriff, which is, sitting on a old rocking chair. If I go in here, I can then click Blacksmith. It'll create a catalog for me. And if I want, I can go, I'm going to change this to read, and I'm going to make it a prop. It's going to be another. I'm going to change the name to Old Western Blacksmith Shop. And if I accept that, let's take a look and see what they have. And I end up with, it does a media search of what an old Western black shop might look like. And I can click on these, and it'll add an idea. Now these are all, of course, I can add as many of these media things that I want. That image is not available. Let's see what else is available. Let me see, I've already clicked on that one, see if they have any more here. I can add these in. And what this does for me, it kind of gives me some resources as to, because eventually I'm going to start modeling all this, and it gives me some resources of what an old Western black shop might look like. And then when I go to do my modeling, I have a ready source of, now these are all copyrighted, of course, so I can't do it exactly as those, but it gives me an idea of what it is that I'm going to need. I can even do an old Western brothel, a courthouse. Let me try that. I'll go old Western courthouse, and this is what old Western courthouses may look like. Now some of these aren't exactly what I need, but it does a fairly close approximation as to what they may look like at that time. This isn't fail-safe, but it does a fair job in finding things. Well, this one isn't doing as good. Well, this one might. Let's see what this one looks like. I'll just go ahead and well, that one is a little on the tiny side, but again, it gives me some ideas. It gives me some reference materials that when I actually start my modeling, I can finish up with. One of the things that I did when I was doing some research was I went through and I found some things. Let me open it up here. I have some concepts. I went through and I was looking for old Western towns of what they might look like on the web, and I just picked up some reference material, just some old photos, and for a street scene, I kind of like this one the best. Gives me a good idea of what it is I want. I kind of like this because it looks like it's about 30 feet down, oh, maybe about 120 feet deep, and then this other street, it kind of angles down off into the distance, and I kind of like that setup. I think this would work well for my animation. I can put the sheriff's office right here in the corner at the very beginning of the street. Down at the end, I can have the villain riding in and parking his little wooden horse right here, and I think this would be a good setup. So I kind of saving this in the back of my head as to how to set it up. So I think what I'm going to be doing from this point on is I'm going to be setting up a small Blender file that I can start doing some some previs shot visualizations and kind of set up these shots a little bit and kind of figure out what I'm going to need for all these little buildings down here, what's going to be needed in each scene, and I can start doing my, I can start setting up all my buildings that I'm going to put in for my shots. So thank you for watching this video, and next time I'm going to be setting up for my pre-visualization, and we'll start doing previses so that we can set up our street scene correctly and build our storyboard out. So until next time, thank you for watching.